Hello and welcome back to Let Supreme Goes Thief. We are going to play Horns of Canzo today, but we're going to take a quick stop back at Alcazar and show you a couple of things that I missed. First of all, I did not credit Squadafroin for work on this mission. It's Schlock's mission mainly, but Squad I think had quite a bit of, gave Schlock quite a bit of help, so we should credit where credit is due, right? So we're going to load up a few things here. Now we're back in Alcazar's manor, and I did figure out what was wrong with these pressure plates. It's kind of a weird reason it didn't work properly. You have to have your FPS, your frame rate, capped at 60. I did not. I think I had it off or had it capped at 100. And for some reason, pressure plates especially do not work if you don't have it capped at 60. So now, as soon as you trigger one of them, now the statue is moving and making noise. So now he should attack us if he sees us. Yeah. So this statue works similarly to the one below where we found the spellbook. Two differences. One, he doesn't move because he's stuck on that pedestal. And two, he shoots fireballs. The other one shoots ice bolts, I think. I didn't show you that, but I think he does. A few other things I wanted to show. When you come back after completing all the objectives, a bouquet of flowers have been put in Alcazar's grave. So that's interesting. I'm not sure who that is supposed to be from. However, it could be from the character inside, because this guy here is not present until you are done with your objectives and coming back. So I didn't really know who this was. I remember seeing this guy the very first time I played the mission, right after release. And I thought, because of the adventurer's hat, that it may be King Graham from the King's Quest series. I was a big Sierra Adventure fan in the 80s and 90s, and still am, because it's nostalgic to me. And King Graham is one of the protagonists there. And he wears this hat, so I thought maybe this would be him, but it doesn't look like him, you know, the rest of the outfit. So I'm not sure if all of you are aware of this, and I'm the only one who isn't, but apparently this is a shopkeeper called Morshoe from an obscure Zelda game released for the Philips CDI system in the early 90s called Link Faces of Evil, I think. And that shopkeeper has become sort of a meme, especially in the fan community, and I guess especially within mission creators then. Because he has kind of an obscure or weird, humorous cameo. I don't think he's present much in the game, but he's pretty memorable. So apparently this is him, I guess. I have never played any Zelda game. Our family really is more Mario people. But yeah, sorry to any Zelda fans. I didn't know who this is, really. And I do think that the merchant Morsalt in this mission is supposed to be a reference to Morshoe. And there's one reason why I think so. Because I watched a video about Morshoe from that Zelda game. And this book, Lamp Oil, Rope, Bombs, that phrase there is one of the main phrases that Morshoe has in that game, I believe. So I think that's more than a subtle reference to Link Faces of Evil. So again, this went way over my head, and, you know, if I'm the only one who didn't catch that, then, well, now I know, and I feel very enlightened. Okay, that should be it. So let's head back to our main mission for today. So, Horns of Canzo. Part 1, or Mission 1. A Long Way Up by Sterlino, an Italian author, I think. This mission was released in 2004, and the sequel, Dragon's Claw, 6 years later in 2010. I have not played that second mission. I will, but not right now, but I will on my channel do that as well. This is an excellent mission. This is a fantastic mission. One that I don't really know why I haven't played since it's so old, and it's right up my alley. It's sort of epic in scope. The setting, location is fantastic. Story is very deep, and there's a lot of mystical elements, but it's also grounded with... there are some creatures and monsters, but there's also quite a lot of humans, and sort of interwoven in a very easy to understand way, but there's also some mysterious parts that is left unanswered, and that kind of balance is hard to get, and I really like that. I'm looking forward to the sequel. So this mission here was chosen by Squadafroin. On YouTube, I think he goes by Squada Lol, but it's the same guy. He was the winner of the Thief Trivia quiz that we had during the Bones video, which I will do another one of those eventually. So this was the mission he chose. Apparently it's one of his favorites, and I can totally understand why. So we're going to play this today. I have only played the Flying Age of Sterlino's missions before. I didn't ghost that, but I played that back when it was released, probably 12, 15 years ago, something like that, which is a campaign, which was a good campaign. This is a much better mission, though, and probably one of his most well-renowned ones. I think this is the one I've heard him do, or had recommended several times on the forums, not to me personally, but I've seen high scores for this one. So yeah, we're gonna play this today. We're going to start actually by watching the credits, because it gives a little intro to Sterlino there. There we go. A little face reveal, and also some storyboards for the briefing that we're going to watch. So, for Snake and Ghost are our difficulty levels. We have to play on the highest, which is Ghost. And we're going to watch the briefing. This is a great briefing, and we'll talk a little bit about what the briefing is showing afterwards.
What was that?
Hi, guard. We have captured your friend Basso to hold for ransom. To free him, you must stand for us like a loose clue.
Ew. Yes, Basso, my friend. And I better do this quick. Time to go.
Okay. So basically, Basso has been kidnapped by the Brotherhood of Fire, I think the clan is called, and holding him for ransom. So they are forcing us to get an artifact called the Dragon's Claw, which we're not going to get in this mission, but that's the name of the second mission. And that is found in Italy, in a mountain range called Horns of Canzo, which I think is a real mountain range close to Lombardy in Italy. Would make sense if the author's Italian to keep this local. So we have made that trip to Italy, and we are now up in the mountains trying to reach the third Alp Inn, which is one of our main objectives. So that's sort of the backstory. There's a little bit more fluff around the story if you want to read the info file, but that's where we are right now. So use any means necessary to reach the third Alp Inn at the top of the mountain. Room 4 is reserved for you. You'll find the details of the job waiting for you there. This is the last thing you must do after completing all the rest. The local police, the Carabinieri, hate you, so stay alert. Be warned, though, don't spill their blood or the whole mission will fail. Don't kill anyone. Because your purse is empty after your long trip, you need some restocking, so grab anything that your magic hands can reach. Get at least 1,800 in loot, which should be easy for you. Find all the secrets in the mission. You are real impressive, but can you do it better? Not a single knockout is permitted for this mission. Find the meaning of the 4 magic elements. Try not to alert anyone to your presence here. You don't want the alarms going off before you start the real mission. For a real challenge, make like a ghost and don't let anyone, especially the guards, see you or hear you, except animals and monsters. But first of all, get some loot, go to the shop and buy something. Okay, there's a lot of stuff to dissect here. First of all, the don't kill anyone objective, the no knockout objective, don't set off the alarms, and make like a ghost and don't get spotted or detected. Those 4 are all sort of already required for us due to the Supreme Ghosting rules. This objective, I think, means third alert. They can go to hunt mode, but I have had some issues with this objective where this has been failed when I've been far, far away from enemies. But I think then I was knocking people out, so probably someone came across a body or an unconscious person, and that might fail this. So keep that in mind. Hide your body as well if you go that route. Then the first objective is just getting to the end point in the mission, so that's not really anything we have to do. So we have to get 1,800 in loot. There is 3825 available in the mission. The stats are messed up, and it says there's only 2125. That's wrong. So that would be quite cruel. 1,800 out of 21. But there is almost 4,000. Now, you have to buy something at the shop. And whatever you buy, that will reduce the total available loot. So that loot count will go down. Both the amount that you've gotten and the total available. So we will buy the cheapest thing possible, which is a broadhead arrow for 25. So the total available loot will be 3,800 even. So you can still get Perfect Thief even if you buy something, because the total amount goes down. So that's good. That's good. We, in addition to loot, have to find the meaning of the 4 magic elements. That's going to be the hardest for us to do. This mission is not going to be ghostable. There isn't, it's not big busts, and it's not a lot of busts, but this is the one that will force those busts. The last objective here, find all the secrets in the mission, is interesting. Because what that means, there is a rule in the Ghost rules that say immediate and unavoidable consequences of completing a required objective. As long as you're not seen or heard, that is excused. So for Supreme, you are required to do all optional objectives. So this will be a required objective. So finding a secret, when you find a secret in the moment that you trigger the secret, if you bust Supreme in any way, that is excused, as long as you are not detected by anybody doing so. However, for regular ghosts, optional objectives are not required. So the rule says unavoidable. So for ghosts, this objective is not unavoidable. You can avoid it. You can just skip it. So this actually means that we can get more loot in this mission for Supreme than we can for regular Ghost. It's all in the semantic of the rules, so it might not be that interesting to you, but that's a little nuance that I haven't seen before. I don't think there's often secret count objectives given up front. Sometimes you get them as a hidden objective when you find them all, but yeah. So a lot of restrictions here, but it is on Ghost difficulties. I guess that makes sense. All right, so here we start. Let's take a look at the map first. So we start here. We have gone from the city of Canzo now up into the mountains, and there are basically two main paths, literal paths. We can go east to the Saloon, leads us to some woods. We can get to a mining section, and there's, at the very end of this direction, there is a place called the Wall, and the mountains, the horns, are up here to the north. If you go west, you can find the shop, some waterfalls, there's a cemetery, and then there's a winding path that goes via 2 guard posts that are heavily guarded to a village, and then through the village you can reach the 3rd Alp Inn. You can connect from the 3rd Alp area to the Wall, but it's not easy to go through that area, but we will. We're going to hit the shop pretty early, but we need some loot, so we're going to go to the Saloon. But then we are going to go up into this area first, mainly to get a rope arrow. The shop has 2 rope arrows, but I don't need 2, I only need 1. So I don't want to take that extra one, because they're 2 in 1. So I'm going to go to the old mines here and get, or up in the woods actually, and get a rope arrow there. And there's also one other reason, or maybe 2, why I'm going to hit that area, and I'll explain that once we get there. But this is the only map we have, but we don't really need much, because both of those paths are fairly linear, easy to understand the order of things. Each of these locations are not very big, but you know, they tie together very nicely, and this is a great layout and design of the mission. Okay, I have, by the way, listened to the feedback from the mic, both myself and what you guys gave me, and I have made some adjustments, so I'm hoping and thinking the mic sounds better right now. The only thing I'm unsure of is my general volume compared to the game volume. I want to be able to be heard even in the loudest areas, so I'm trying to test that out a little bit, but just continue to give me feedback there. I think it should sound better. Now, this mission is supposed to be played with fog, which is the way I've played it so far, but YouTube butchers fog so bad in terms of making it pixelated and horrible bitrate and all that, so I'm going to turn off fog for this playthrough. This will be my first time seeing this mission without fog, so that'll be interesting. I wanted that to be sort of done here live in a way. Oh, wow. That looks quite different. Oh, that's cool. You can even see the skyline here now with the mountains. All right. This actually looks very good. Indeed it does. So yeah, I'm going to keep the fog off then, just to make sure. So here you see we have the village to the west, and the woods to the east here. I'm going to make a real save. So we're going to head east first. We're going to get to the Saloon. Okay. One of the reasons we're going to the Saloon, because we need this drunkard's key. He does not spot us. There's a cool horse here. Maybe not as cool as the one in the Black Parade, but hey, this was 20 years prior, basically. And it's obviously old dark. This opens automatically.
You mean you lost a whole stack of books?
There are some conversations they're going to play in here. These are all old stock conversations from Thief 2, so we don't need to worry about those.
Even you could lose a whole bookcase.
Some food in here, but some loot. He has a key on his belt. We do not need that key.
And when I turned around, the M stacks were gone.
Some loot here.
I'll say you got turned around all right.
You couldn't understand. I dropped the letters on the floor.
Dost thou know whether the sheriff hath arrived?
Now these guests, I don't think are hostile unless they catch you steal some loot.
I had forgotten that today was the date.
Thou hast no idea.
There's a
what
stack
I
of
speak
gold coins. Took some plates here
Thou must
and different
learn
stuff.
to pay more attention, lest thee find thyself fallen by the wayside.
Gold vase
as
here
the
too,
future
325.
passes thee by.
The piston connected to the spiral valve. The spiral valve connected.
Here's a healing potion on this lady's belt. A goblet.
That's the point, Margaret. Now they
Purse
will
here.
be happy.
To serve the nobility
Stack
is
of
the
gold
highest
coins.
privilege in
Another
life, of
purse here.
course. But slavery is just so
So
distasteful.
some loot items over
See,
here
my
by
dear,
the
servants can
fireplace.
truly make you happy. Could there be a more noble purpose in life?
Shh, shh. I know, dear. But there will be other banquets. Besides, it's
Goblet
not as
there,
if we intend to join their
$6.75.
silly religion or anything.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab his key just so I can show you the restroom which this opens. Key disappears. So somebody's made a mess in here, or somebody hasn't cleaned it for a while. That's why it's locked.
You mean you lost?
Do not need
a
that
whole
key.
stack of
Now,
books?
this ladies' restroom
The M stack. It's a section
Odd
of
noises.
bookcases.
triggers a
They're just
first
tall
alert,
stacks.
and there is a
I don't
purse
believe even
worth
you could lose a
100.
whole bookcase.
So we're gonna end
I
up
tell you, the
skipping
place is
that.
haunted.
There's, I think, 2
One
pieces of
minute I
loot in the
was on my way
mission,
to
or
Father
3
Lord's
maybe,
letters.
that we have to
Then I
skip
heard
for
this
Supreme.
terrible sound.
There's no way to
And when
get
I
in
turned
here without
around-
that first alert, so
You mean you lost
has to be
a whole
skipped.
stack of books?
No, the M stack. It's a section of bookcases. They're just called stacks.
I
Okay.
don't believe even you could lose
So
a whole
here,
bookcase.
when we go into the wine
I tell you,
cellar,
The place is haunted. One minute I was on my way to Father Lord's
the
letters. Then I heard this
guy in
terrible
brown over
sound.
there with his back
And when I
turned
turned
will
around,
start coming in
the M
here,
stacks were gone.
I'll say you got turned around all right.
I believe.
Damn. I dropped the letters on the floor
Dost
and
thou
they were
know
gone
whether
too.
the sheriff
I
hath
looked
arrived?
everywhere.
The sheriff?
Somehow
What does
you
he
are-
here?
Okay, I'm not sure why he's not, but
I had
Yeah.
forgotten that today was the date.
so
Thou hast
I shouldn't
no
be
idea what I
visible
speak
when he
of.
comes in here, because he might alert.
Pay more attention.
Should turn around, and we can pick the lock on this.
Wayside as the future passes thee by.
Here's a scroll. Dear Carlo, I've come across a great mystery, a key marked with a water symbol. I don't know what it means, but it could be very important. I seem to recall seeing a picture of that symbol in a book about magic and mystery. The last time I saw that book was in Archive Room 1543. I tried to see if it was still there, but the building was locked. I know that you have access to restricted areas. Can you get into that office for me? I will stop by your saloon on Sunday night, and we can discuss it further. This is an important readable, because this relates to the objective of the 4 magic elements. So we're going to drop the scroll back and instead get the key that was in that box.
The point, Margaret. Now they will be happy.
To serve the nobility is the highest privilege in life, of course.
Sometimes that servant comes back a second time.
Distasteful.
You see, my dear, the servants
didn't
can truly
now.
make you happy. Could there be a more noble purpose in life?
Shh, shh. I know.
So we took a water
I
key
know,
here,
dear.
dropped the
But there
scroll,
will
and
be other
closed the
banquets.
box.
Besides, it's not as if we intend to join their silly religion or anything.
Why does it keep playing that sound? Okay. It was on a loop there. We're going to continue east now. There are a couple of patrollers that take this path all the way from the first guard station all the way to the woods here. They usually end up patrolling together, but they start separate. But they get bunched up. So here we're going to take a statue in here. It's difficult to mantle up from here. Over here is a silver nugget, 725. Okay, we can check that area when we come back, I guess. I haven't found a good way. Okay. I guess we'll just have to wait then. We're going to come back here. There's a couple more things I wanted to show you. You can't go this way. Oh, just go up here, I guess. Good. Can't go this way. Blocked. And then up here, you have a healing fruit and a broken arrow, which is a great movie, by the way. Yeah, so we're going to head into this area here. Get our count for the first secret. Right now, here's a fish. Here's a nugget. Here's a fish that counts as food. Go up here and you can get another nugget. 825. And there's one more nugget we can take. Somebody said that that fish was an exploding fish. I have never seen it explode or harm me in any way. Gold. Can't get out here. Go this way without taking damage. So 900. Now we come to the end of this. Okay, so here we come to an area with a water lock. Try to go through here. There is a water seal. So if we use the water key, it locks it first, and then it unlocks it. And that usually has an effect of some sort. So that removed the seal. And we're going to get more objectives from this. It's going to be expanded into 4 more. And one of those will be completed when we did what we did now. Here we have a door that is locked, and it's also locked up at the end there. Okay, this grate here is what we saw from underwater earlier. Here's a dragonfly. These dragonflies will start moving when they see you. So we don't need to do that. We drop here. We can find an invisibility potion. I'm going to grab that now. I hope I'm not going to end up needing it. But if I need it, we have it. We can return it easily later. And there was a yellow key there too. That we're not going to need until much later, but... And here... we have a blue gem. Worth 100, total 1,000. This is another door that is locked. It's pickable, but we're not going to go in there now. And over here, around the corner... our path is blocked because I have not found a way to get around here without this dragonfly seeing us. And it starts shooting or following us or something. So instead, we're going to jump over. So we are now sort of in the woods area. areas aren't specified all the way. So the best way to come over here is to jump. So I did this on the first try in my practice run. Of course. There. Now we can move through this area here. Here we have 3 caves. 1, 2, 3. That area there takes you up to some barracks. We're not going to go that way. Instead, we're going to go through here. We're going to pick up this boulder. Okay. You can throw that at the branch. And then you can frob the rest of these. So you're breaking the branches, which is not property damage, by the way. It's just foliage. But that counts as a second secret, and it's a way through into these caves. So even if that had been property damage, it wouldn't have been a bust because it triggered finding a secret, which is an objective. Okay, here we have some frogs. This cave pulsates with lights, and these frogs are very alert. But we don't need to go through that way. We can go in the back way, actually. I like this. It looks like a face with the 2 eyes and the mouth there. Love the sounds in this mission. So now we come into the caves. And there is a guard here. And he has a pump room 5 key that we're going to need much later also. So these guys are called the Guardians. Or, we'll see in a readable later what they're calling themselves. So up here, this is locked.
Doesn't look like I can get up there.
No, you can't get up there, so the pump room 5 key will open this or unlock it from the other side, and then you can use this valve.
Someone making noise?
In here.
That's what I'm gonna do. I don't like the looks of that.
You actually have a shrine room or a prayer room with the fire key. Now we don't have the, sorry, fire lock. We don't have the fire key yet. So we're going to get that a little bit later. See if we can go a little bit faster here. Let's go in here. Here's a healing potion and a readable. Let me just see. Does he come in here now? Don't know. Oh, okay. I thought he came in here just for a little bit. Okay, let's read this. Your Majesty, Sir Galvano came to visit us yesterday. He shocked us by demanding that we give him the key. When we asked for an explanation, he went insane, attacking us with his sword. It was obvious that his real intention was to steal the key for some mysterious purpose. What happened? We trusted Sir Galvano, but something has possessed him. Could it be the evil forces contained within the fire key? Once he managed to gain possession of it, he disappeared into the forest, shouting. Can you give to us some advice that will help us? And this has been cut off here. So The rest of the readable says, that will help us to save our brother Galvano. Your devoted Sir Adolfo, Sir Vincenzo, Sir Leonardo. Your Majesty, rumors about strange things in the woods lead some of us to believe that Sir Galvano is now evil and lost to us. A villager told the strange tale of a swordsman who had swallowed something shiny, the key, and was immediately overtaken by pain so severe that he seemed about to die. His body swelled up horribly, and he became a hissing, grunting monster. But I think that this is a story, and that poor Galvano is actually dead. Last week we found his sword under a bush near the lava river. He was a hero. He saved us all by throwing, and then this has also been cut off, by throwing himself into the lava with the key in his hand. May the gods take him into their glory. Today we will hold a service in his memory. Naturally, we continue to watch over the firelock until your Majesty releases us from our duty. Your devoted Sir Adolfo, Sir Vincenzo, and Sir Leonardo. So this is then a big hint to where the fire key is found. It seems Galvano has turned into a monster and swallowed the key. So we might have to kill that monster to get a hold of the key then. But that this is indeed the firelock that they're protecting. So these are the guardians of the firelock, essentially. We continue here, we get to another sort of prayer room chapel. Okay, here is another couple of readables. Scroll. Sir Galvano, Brother Adolfo is nearly insane. I believe it to be caused by spending too much time close to the gate, and the evil presence behind it, pushing us beyond our capacity. We will continue with our duties, but you must give us new hope. Just a letter and some of your wonderful bottles of wine, perhaps. I don't know what will happen. I followed your orders to the letter, sir. The key is in a safe place, but how long must we stay here? May the gods save us all. The book here. Sir Galvano, up until now we have performed our duties as guardians of the cursed gate to hell, but we have not heard from you in 18 months. I'm writing to you now with a desperate appeal for you to preserve our sanity. I pray night and day that the gods will give us strength to continue, but they have ignored my appeals. It is now my turn to stand guard. My brother will explain the situation more fully. Alright, a breath potion here. This guy's sleeping, but he has a key that we will need later. We can go back. We basically needed the pump room 5 key here, and we're going to pick up the rope arrow now, next. So now we have a little backstory on the Guardians. So we can go down this way to find the rope. Gotta be careful here, because the frogs are up there. Here's the rope arrow. So that we're going to use. And when you take this rope arrow alone, it gets sort of a straight trajectory instead of an arc, which is kind of unusual. So these are not busts. That was a bust. We need to get over that. They hear that too. There. Good. There's a little lip there that's tough to get over, and if you get a slight extra speed enhancement, they will catch you. We're going to go back this way. We're going to come out of that side tunnel. I'll show you that then. And then these frogs will be somewhere else. Don't know why, but they will. Now we have what we need. Now we can go back all the way to the shop. I'll show you one more thing, though. This cave will cause a cave-in. So that's not a bust, because it's not a trap. It's just something to make sure you don't leave. Trap is considered something that kills you. However, here, we have a spider that is facing our way. The only way to get through here is to use an invisibility potion. There's another spider here. And then we come to this area. This is a cave that can be very difficult, and we're going to get there later. And I want to have the invisibility potion here. So we need to get into this cave a different way, and we can do so by roping down from the ceiling chute. So we're going to do that, and we'll tackle this place then. We'll see, yeah. So this spider here continually alerts those two spiders over there because it's in third alert mode. So those spiders over there can be very unpredictable. So that's why I need to have the invisibility potion if I may have to use it later. So anyway, we're going to reload here, and we're going to go back this way. Can safely drop into the water. None of the dragonflies hear that. And then we can go all the way back through. Now we might run into some of those patrollers. Sometimes when I come back here, that happens. Instead of trying to mantle up here, let's just walk up here. There's an archer, there's a guard with a purse, and there is another guy that doesn't have anything.
You mean you lost a whole stack of books?
That are found in different locations every time I play. Okay. Here is a river. We mantle up here to the other side. Rowboat. A gold nugget. And then here is a door. I don't think you can ever get through here. I haven't found any hints to this. I think it's just sort of decorative. Okay, now if we go to the end of the river, there's a readable. Welcome, my dear friend Garrett. I'm happy to see you here. In case you haven't realized it yet, this is a trap. No air to breathe means no more lifetime to spend. Ha ha ha. You will soon be joining me here in the Inferno, the Trickster. It's not entirely true, because you can get back here pretty easily if you go down to the bottom. And do sort of a strafe run back. You can go all the way up and mantle up that rock there. I don't want the readable, but that's how you can do it. The other end of the river doesn't have anything. We can jump back to this vine. And go back up here. Good. I'm going to head up there in a little bit. Okay, this is the cemetery. We're not going to go in there now because we don't have what we need. We're going to go down to the shop. Weapons and tools? Tools? Weapons and tool shop. Open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. No dogs allowed. Warning, this shop is protected by a sophisticated alarm system manufactured and installed by Acme Sir Limited. Is that a reference to the Acme from Coyote and the Roadrunner, the old cartoon? Maybe. Sales permit. This permit is issued under authority of the sheriff and the major. This building is under the protection of the Carabinieri guards. Permit valid until the last day of this year. Alright, so when we head in, the owner is going to come out of the back door. I want to make sure he doesn't close the back door because we need a key to get in there. Go a little bit fast here. There.
Welcome, stranger. We have anything.
Okay, he has a flare. And if you take that, he also has a key for this door, which we're going to end up closing. Back here we have 3 gold coin stacks, 1150. We have the key to the back door if you get locked in here for some reason. I think this is just the panel that opens this.
Stranger. We have anything.
So this is the broadhead arrow. 25. We're going to buy that. Then I want to close this. So we now went down 25 in loot, and we checked off that objective. So it's only loadout screen purchases that is disallowed for Supreme, but this also is directed in the objective, so that's totally not a bust. So minus 25, that's what we should have. Here, this is the button for the alarm. We're certainly not going to use that. This key, or this button rather,
Welcome, stranger. We have
moves away the doormat and gives us this key. You take this key, you can open that, and that gives you 5 moss arrows. And what else? 2 flash arrows. So flash arrows work just like flash bombs, except it shoots it in a trajectory, I think. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. So there are some new weapons in this mission that I'll show you. So that we have available here. Something else. So I'm not going to take all that stuff. But we did buy that stuff there. Here is a dartboard. Now, strangely enough, there are 11 secrets in the mission, but only 10 of them can be found on Hardened Expert. However, the stats still say 11. But to complete this objective, you only need to get 10. So the 11th one is not attainable. It's not possible to get, even though it says so in the stats. But I'll show you that one. Here, now we are on Poor, so the lowest difficulty.
Guess I could use some target practice.
If you take the red darts, and then... There. If you do that, you find a secret.
Welcome, stranger. We have anything.
And that reveals here. If you press these 3, you lower all the other and raise all the other panels. So you have access to buying pretty much everything. Holy water vials, water arrows, moss arrows, fire, rope. Or no, I guess this is rope, isn't it? 200, yeah. Flares, gas bombs. But then you have some cool things here. Invisibility potions, slow fall. You have fire bomb, ice arrows, acid arrows, and ice bombs. Ice bombs was available in Bones as well. And Bones came out much later, so I assume that was taken from this mission. Ice bombs... you throw, and it creates an ice cloud, and anybody that walks into that will freeze, and then you can kill them with just 1 broadhead arrow, I think. And I believe the ice arrows work exactly the same way. Yep, slightly different color maybe, but... acid arrows, I think, just does damage on impact. It's like a water arrow with damage property. And then we have the fire bomb, which looks kind of cool. It creates a hot area that if you walk into it, you take damage. I think that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. Cool. So a lot of cool new equipment here. I think that's it for equipment.
Welcome, stranger. We have anything. Welcome, stranger.
So we're going to close this one. So this is where your purchases are found. We're not going to take this because we don't need to take it. We've just bought it, and we don't need a broadhead arrow, of course. This is special of the month, a powerful ice bomb. You can actually look through the panel here. Out of stock. How to finish Horns of Canzo. The mystery is solved. A step-by-step guide through the secrets of this awesome mission by Sterlino. That's kind of cool. Here we have the Devil's Paw, the one and only. If you spend 5,000 to buy that, you die instantly. So that's the joke. 300. Oh, that's actually a fairly discounted price for invisibility. Isn't that 500 or 600 normally? Sword. You got all the normal stuff here. In this display case, you will find weapons and tools for sale. Act quickly, as some are in limited supply. Indeed. So we don't need any of this. A set of unique items. Right. The last ice/flash arrow in the whole world. Well, ice and flash arrows are different things, though, aren't they? So this is only an ice arrow. Okay. So one more thing in here. There is a hidden key back here, which it took me a while to find, which unlocks this. And in here, there is the 2 rope arrows I talked about, a moss arrow, and 4 flares. We're going to need 2 flares. So I'm going to grab this one and return 2. You can't close this panel or lock or return the key, which is kind of sucky. He has 1 flare, but we need 1 more, and there isn't another one found anywhere in the mission, I think. Let me know if you know where there's another flare. But you can take 4 and then return 2. That's not a big deal. But it's a little bit unclean to leave the door open and take the key and all that. But let's see, I think that was everything. Yeah. Did we close the back door? We did, and he went back in there, so... Yep, perfect. Alright. Oh. Okay. What is going on here? Back here. There's another readable. Another hidden one. And so, you finally realize that it's only a game and not real life. Perhaps you have noticed that the forest isn't real either. Just a wall of textures, Well, don't worry. Be happy and turn off your PC, put on some shoes, and go outside and try to taste some real life. Okay. I will do that, Sterlino. After I play your mission. Then we are ready to move on. So we are going to now head up here. There's a strange situation coming up. There is a monster, an orc, I think, that is shooting at a rat furiously. And he's so furious that he's not going to detect us. Sometimes he does, but usually he doesn't. There. Well, now he stopped. Okay. He doesn't always. Now he does. Okay, that's strange. Last time I played, he did not detect me at all. Let's just wait a little bit here. Maybe we have to skip this piece of loot then. Because it seemed very strange that he wouldn't detect me. Huh. Yeah, he sees me now. Okay. So you know what? I'm thinking that this might have to do with the frame rate issue as well. Because I think I played in 100 FPS last time I played this mission too. I don't know why I did. It should be to 60 for Thief. And that made me able to just skip past him as if he didn't detect me at all. Let's try it one more time. Okay, now he doesn't see me. Yeah. There we go. He gets so into his shooting of the rat that he doesn't detect you taking the silver nugget there. So I know that he's probably, you know, registered seeing us, but if we follow the rules strictly, if there's no verbal or visible cue that anyone has seen us, then we're fine. This is like taking a piece of loot in the middle of someone's conversation. That's allowed because you're using the fact that they are busy talking. So we're good here. We're gonna go over it this way. Oh. See, we took the... We need to not take damage here. I'm gonna drop here. Now we come to an abandoned house, and this house is a little bit tricky for ghosts. Not just Supreme. We need to go here because we need to find the secret. Here's a flare mixture that's completely pointless. Here is a water arrow. And here is a locked door and a locked door. This door requires a red key. We're not going to need to take that red key. So I'm going to skip it. And if we go further here, there is a window with a plaque that says warning fragile glass. You're supposed to pick up one of these, break the window, and go through that way. And you have to get into this house. We can't do that because there's property damage. I'm going to skip that entirely. I just wanted to come in here for the sake of the secret count. Right? There's no other reason for me to go there. No. So we have to head back now. And that can be a little bit tricky, actually. There. Do that, and then we can... Oh, what happened there? That was actually a good move, but... We need to jump and get the arrow in the jump. Okay, we can probably do that. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. Come on. We need to grab the arrow. I don't think we can grab it from up here. There we go. There. It's a little tricky area, this, but... Now we need to go back down here. Can we do that? Okay, we can do that for sure. Can we grab our arrow again? I think we can. Good. Okay. So we did not get any alerts from that guy. We did not break the window. We got the secret count. We got the loot. Everything is good to go. Now we need to find those patrollers. This is the abandoned house then from the front. So we do need to get into that door, or at least find a way into the abandoned house somehow. First we're gonna go up here. Here's a frog beast egg, but more importantly, a gold nugget. $12.25. Okay, so this is the gate to the abandoned house, pickable door. We don't have to pick that because we can climb over. I want to find these guys first.
Saw something there.
Okay. So there's the one guy, the guy with the purse. He's the most important guy for us.
Notice there's never any bird
Where are the other guys? Maybe they passed me when I was
to be bird.
in the shop or something.
Morning and wake you up. Singing at night, looking for girl birds to meet up with.
1325.
Don't hear them no more. Time to
Are they up here? No. Okay. So we're gonna go into the abandoned house from the front then instead. Oh. There. So you can see there's an office here. There's a key on the desk there. We need to get into that room. We can't open this door. I don't think that's ever openable. I think that's the front door. This you can open. You can climb up here. Here's a footlocker, and this is what the drunk guard's key opens. And here there are 2 ice bombs. We're going to need 1 ice bomb, and this is the only place in the mission you can take one for free. And you can't return the other one, so it is what it is. This way we can't go, but we'd like to go there. So, how do we get to the other side of that window that we're supposed to break? Well, here I want to credit Galere a little bit, because he found that you could climb over the back wall in a pretty intricate way. Kind of cool. Let's see. Like this. Now we come back to that window. So we don't have to break it now. This next window is already broken. This is just above where we were blocked by the tree. So here we can go through. Now we get to a room with a broken banner. Here there are 3 difficult pieces of loot to find. 3 coin pairs. Go in here. There's another coin pair in here. There's also a switch that we'll take a look at in a little bit. 1425. This door I don't think we can open. And here now we get to the office with that door that is sort of half open. Okay. Here's a key. A little shiny key. We're going to need that little shiny key. Let's read this little shiny scroll. To Mr. Löwengrave. Löwengrave, I think that is, sounds German. We found this key in the mouth of a rat near the cemetery. Please let us know if you know anything about it. So the cemetery, that's probably where that key is used then, Captain Rinaldi. In here is also the red key I talked about, but we're not going to need that, and it disappears upon use. It's beneficial for us to skip those keys if we can. Good, now we have what we need. Now we can flip this, get another secret. That unlocks this panel, which takes us back to this room. I think that'll close on its own. That is the 4th secret. Out of 10. Okay. So, the abandoned house is the way you're supposed to get into the first guard post. But since I want to avoid taking that red key, I'm going to go a different way. This is the first guard post. Locked. There is a lookout where a guard can see you. Make a real save here. We're coming up on a little bit of a difficult place. Because we can. I assume this isn't possible in Old Dark. But who cares? We're playing New Dark. Lovely mountains. You can climb over this way, and you can get to an area where there's a loose button. I don't know what this does. It's probably one that triggers scripts and stuff like that outside of the map, so we're kind of out of bounds now. You can climb over and get past that guard or watch post, if you will. This is the alarm button. Okay, so this can be a little bit tricky, this area. I'm going to make actually a real save here instead. As soon as we open this door, the two guys here are going to start a conversation. We're also going to get a first alert from the guard inside. That's inevitable, whether we come from below or not. Now I'm going to just listen to the conversation now and show you a few things, and then we're going to do it over again and try to do it as quickly as we can.
Joran, that you? I heard something.
There.
Rats. I have the house full of rats.
You could say that. Hey, look at this. Watch out, there's some rats running around. Huh? What? Ha! Are you kidding me? Oh, wouldn't want to stub your little toesies.
Okay. So, we got a first alert from at least this guy. I think this guy too alerts. But there's nothing we can do about that. This door has to be used. You can come up through this hatch, but then this guy also takes a first alert, and you have to leave through this door. So, the result is the same. I'm going to show you a few things first. There's a readable here. Scroll. Norman, let the mechanists know tomorrow that we had a problem with the pressure gauge in the tunnel vault. Check and make sure that the gear in the tunnel is working properly, or we won't be able to get to the gauge to repair it. Okay? Books room 1543. Interesting. Okay. Here we have a special place. Try to take this. Then there's a trap door that opens. You can actually get down here. If we try to do that. And that opens the one door that I showed you. And this is the door that you need to use your red key in. So, we're not going to go down this way. We can come down to the back side here. Let's see if we can do this a little bit quicker.
Someone making noise.
So we have to do this quicker.
Someone making noise.
There.
I have the house full of rats.
Oh, he saw me. I think he heard me there too.
Hello? Show yourself.
Rats. I have the house full of rats.
You could say that.
Let's see, go down here.
Look at this. Watch out, there's some rats running around. Huh? What? Are you?
This is the books room, 1543. This is the door that... Sorry, not that. This is the door that the red key works on. Going in here. Book, The True Nature of Magic Petal. So that book, the 4 magic elements of nature. Thus, he was able to destroy all of the other planes of reality, save one, ours. Time and space became as one, flowing like a river from that moment onwards to forever. The gods, still helpless in their captivity outside of our reality, dreamed of revenge, and after many eons, found the means to start another battle with Jonas Art. To overcome the strength of his evil, they created a new kind of reality inside the master reality, a mix of the 4 elements that we call water, earth, air, and fire. After many events that are not recorded here, the gods of Quininto decided to send to Earth a guardian for each symbol. The power of each guardian was created in the proportion to the force of the symbol they represent. But beware of the power of fire. Air and water are associated with the side of good, earth and fire with the side of evil. An ancient symbol, an artifact of unknown nature that repulses evil at the least touch. So that gave us... It completed this objective, and it gave us 4 new. Find and unlock the secret of the water elemental key, air, earth, and the dangerous fire elemental key. So it tells us to find the key and to unlock the key, basically. We've already done the water one, so that's checked off, but we have to do the other 3 now. Here's also another readable. Treatise on the Dead by Niblung. Chapter 7, The Vampire. While there are many faces among the damned, none come so clearly to mind as those that have horrified me face to face. As my reader knows from the previous chapters, I've been at this business of digging in tombs for many years, and in the long sickly grasses of Tibetia Leng, there are trembled-down towers and sunken mausoleums that would take an archaeologist like myself many lifetimes to catalog and explore. Should go without saying, then, that rooting around in those dank and dismal vaults has left me with vivid memories I would sooner forget. It was on such an evening as the Highlands see regularly in the fall, when the warm waters of the sea meet cold inland air and the fogs grow thick and sinister, that I found myself on the moors with Davis, my lackey. We had been headed to the pub in town when we espied a scene of such hideous brutality through the thickening mist that we stopped in our tracks, unable to utter a sound. It seemed to us that a young woman was attacking 3 armed men with her bare hands, and she was winning. Of course, I did what any nobleman would do. I made the ultimate sacrifice and sent Davis unto the fray. He went down rather like a sack of beans in the mud. Good heavens. This damsel was ripping our throats with her steely nails and chewing on handfuls of gore between blows. She moved with uncanny subhuman swiftness. Davis had not even made it to the carnage before passing out face down in the moor. I decided I couldn't run the risk of the town being left uninformed, so rather than save Davis, I made a break for it. Sacrificing my lackey was the least I could do to save the poor backwards village of Chillington. I made it to the pub breathless and mildly unnerved. When I told my story, I was met with faint nods and fainter smiles, which indicated I was indeed a foreigner here with much to learn. And learn I did of the vampire of Chillington Moor. I will not recount her tale here, for this is no book of ghost stories. Instead, let me give would-be vampire hunters these words of advice. Of the dark breed, the villagers said there were 2 varieties, greater vampires and lesser vampires. Though nearly impossible to judge apart, the townsfolk claimed that lesser beasts often relied on weapons instead of their bare hands, carrying whatever tool they had used in life. Both kinds are dangerous, for they are not easily slain. Greater vampires may turn into mist if attacked with normal weapons, and in mist form they are even more dangerous than when corporeal. Lesser vampires may decompose or degrade to little more than zombies when slain, but they too offer fight until the end. Be warned, the villagers of Chillington suggested holy water and fire in great quantity to face these beasts, and should the beasts throw spells at ye, the efficacy of fire is greatly reduced. Better to avoid them if you are in short supply of blessed water, an advantage point to fire upon them without exposing yourself to their quickened claws. So, is this a readable from a different mission? Is it maybe from one of the calendar missions? Maybe Midnight in Merkbell? I'm not 100%, but I think maybe it could be. Here's another one. To the river. Fair river, in thy bright clear flow of crystal wandering water, thou art an emblem of the glow of beauty, the unhidden heart, the playful maziness of art in old Alberto's daughter. But when within thy have she looks, which glistens then and trembles, why then the prettiest of brooks her worshipper resembles. Okay, not sure what that is, but... let's head back up here. So now we have what we need. Good. So now we can head out here. There. So we got a first alert from the guy inside. This guy didn't say anything, so maybe he was in his conversation when he should have alerted. When we open the gate, he will be triggered to go past there. Means we can take this guy's purse. And we can go around here. 1525. Just want to make sure that he stops properly here. Good. So sometimes he stops a little bit far. I think this should be good, hopefully.
You get.
So can we mantle up here? Maybe.
Let's go.
I don't know. We'll have to see if we can get through here. I think we're going to go through from the other side one more time. Shifts a little bit in position. Okay. Anyway, we took the purse there, 1525. And we now have what we need to move on. So we have now passed the first guard post. We're now between the two. We cannot go into the second guard post via the front. No way. But I'll show you two anyway. We move up here. Should be coming down here. So he has arrows, but he also has a key, and that's what we need. If we move up here, this is the courtyard to the second guard post. There's a guard up there. No way we can get in here. The turrets will see you. Or... yeah, that busts all sorts of alarm objectives. The message remains, though, for longer than it should. So the key that he carried, we're going to use to bypass the guard post. There. This turns off the lights. We're not going to need to do that, but here... this opens a panel, a secret. You can't close this for some reason, and we don't have the key anymore. But we can close the secret, though. We can't just close this panel. So we're gonna have to come back and close this up later. Otherwise, that's a supreme bust. See, so then we can get into these vents. Like so. Okay. So now we come to sort of a machine area underneath guard post 2. Here is a weird room, sort of a steam room, with a lock that just the handle lights up. I don't know what this is. If anybody can tell me what this is about, I've never been able to get in there. We come to a small mining section with a mining cart. Back here there is a gold nugget. You can see it if you go behind it, but it's easier to just do that. You can actually stand on this and use it, then it'll go down the track. We don't need to do that. We're gonna go this way. Some equipment here, boulders. We're gonna go through that later. Go through here. All right, so here we have a sewer access panel. It's locked, but we can go through there later. All right. So here we have a room with 4 sleeping guards. This is a pickable footlocker. Everybody wakes up if you pick it, and there's, I think, a basketball inside. How great. Here's a purse on this dude. 1700. Oh, an explosive charge. We're not going to need that. That's what you're supposed to use to blow up the boulders downstairs. Oh, yeah. 3 stacks of gold coins. 1775. There's a couple of readables. Captain, I wish to inform you that this pace will burn us out. It's only 6 o'clock, and I'm already so tired. Oh, so tired. Honestly, I don't think I can hold out any longer to finish this letter. And here's a scroll. Mr. Mario Lombardi. So, Lombardi is then the name, like I said initially, I think, of a town in Italy, close to the Horns of Canzo. We finally have a hint about the location of the airlock. I found in an ancient book, The Chronicles of Canzo, that a farmer created a burrick farm in the forest a very long time ago. On this farm, he discovered an ancient lock that is supposed to be the airlock. He decided to board it up and tell the authorities about it. Nothing was done, and it was totally forgotten about, which happens when you're dealing with bureaucracy. Now that we have this incredible information, all we need is somebody dumb enough, fearless enough to go into the forest with the air key and use it on the lock. Sincerely yours, Dr. Lovercrade. Dear Dr. Lovercard. Okay. Honestly, I don't know why you continue to annoy me with all this nonsense about magical keys or magical locks. They mean nothing to me. How many times must I repeat this? Please do not bother me again. I have many other problems to deal with, and I don't have any more time for you or your outlandish ideas. If you continue with this, I will be forced to report you to the guard and have you arrested. Not sincerely yours, Mario Lombardi. Alright. Don't need those readables there. Should be it here. Let's go into the restroom. In the restroom, there is a hidden switch. That is the next secret. That's the 6th one, right? Yep. And on the shower stall, it said, damage, please do not use. Well, that's bullcrap because it just hid some loot. Stack of gold coins, statue, and a ring. And that got us past 1800. 1925. This is just the bathroom stalls. Nothing in there. You can actually mantle over here and do dark. These doors were open, so we're going to leave them open. This goes into the lookout of the courtyard, but this is empty. Here's a very well hidden ring. 2025. And a scroll. Benny, Ludovico, and Ignacio are missing apparently. Roberto, Orazio, and Andrea are present. Sign the presents for tonight with an X, please. Thanks. Captain Rinaldi. Don't need that readable. We got the loot.
One there.
Oh, he heard the door. Gracious. That's the guy that we took the key from earlier. Did not hear that. So moving on here. Attention please, due to the recent flea infestation, everyone entering this area must be decontaminated by order of Major Mario Lombardi, the sheriff. So that's here. These don't always work properly, but this one usually works. If you stand in the doorway, you won't take any damage. Want to close both doors. There. Now we can go up. Okay. Send that back down. Here is The guard that we saw from the front, he's overlooking the courtyard. He has a sewer key that we need.
What's that?
But he hears the gate, so we can't go through that way to get the key.
That's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna go
So instead, we're going to go up here.
6 taffin years. Guard
This has...
say I've had enough.
What does it have?
That's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
It has an acid arrow and 3 moss arrows. The archer out here also has regular broadhead arrows. We don't need those, but we need to jump on top of this. And get in here. So we can jump straight down to the back wall without him seeing us, if we are lucky.
Hey!
Without pushing onto him. There we go. Good. So now we can go this way. And then we can get his sewer key. Good. Can also jump up here and get this guy's purse. There's a contamination chamber below him, but that is the one that doesn't always work. So we might get stuck and not be able to get to this purse. So 2125. Drop down here. And now we are in the village. We've now passed the second guard post, so we now hit the village. This is going to take a sharp east turn, and we won't be able to get to the inn via the path now. I'll show you all that. Down here is another secret. There's a ring down here. That's really all we need. Some fruits and stuff. This is the readable about Alp Inn. This is definitely taken from a meeting with Basso, I believe. So you can read this if you want to. I'm not going to read it because it's just a repeat. So this counted as our, was it 7th secret? And 2225, the ring is worth 100. So in the village, this room here. There's a guard over there. So readable here. We finally found some pieces of the lost cargo. The key is very oxidized, but I think it may still work. We don't know the exact location of the sea chest, but are fairly sure it is somewhere around the lake. The key is in the drawer. If you take it out, please remember to return it to the exact same place, Captain Rinaldi. Key is not in the drawer. It's up here. An oxidized key. We're going to need that. Okay. There's another guard here. He comes. We're going to... We should really follow him, but it's a little bit tedious what we have to do now, because we have to wait for him to come back, and then we have to wait for him again. This is just the other message about the contamination doors. These doors I don't think are possible to open. This has a detonation arrow, I believe. We're gonna go in here. This door here, when we open that, get a first alert. This switch here opens the main gates. This guy has another copy of the sewer key, and we actually need both of those keys. For a strange reason, but I'll show you why. So, we have to utilize the other guard's patrol to open that door without getting an alert. So we just have to wait for him to come back, essentially. That we can listen to this generator in the meantime. So the next mission I'm going to play is going to be the Affairs of Wizards. A little bit of a smaller mission from 2008. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. So we basically just want to block the door now. I need to switch a little bit between longer and shorter missions in order to keep up with one mission a week release, but I should be able to do that. There. There, now we have 2 copies of the sewer key. In order to relock that sewer gate, we have to take both copies. And this is the only way to get that key without an alert. Yeah, so like I said, the Affairs of Wizards will be the next mission. Now, that mission will be released as an early access for my tier 2 and 3 members. So I'm going to do that once a month. So that's one of the perks that comes from being a member. So if you're looking into getting some of those perks, then take a look at my membership tiers. Shout outs to Neptunix and Jackhouse Ghost as elite members. Really appreciate you guys. They will also have access to member-exclusive polls that I will have every 3 months. So the first one is coming up in not too long. And if we don't have enough elite members to make that poll viable, then they will simply get to choose a mission for me to play. So, might not be a poll in the traditional sense, but they will definitely get the perk along with their membership. So let me know what you guys think about this mission. I think it resembles a mix between maybe Heartcliff Islands and maybe a little bit of Ruins of Virginia, something like that. The style is not identical to either of those. I think maybe Heartcliff Islands is the one I think it resembles the most. So now we have to have him close this. There. The sewer key is gonna disappear, so we don't need to close, or sorry, return the key. We just have to follow him out now. He will stop over there with the other guard a little bit. Okay, let's make another real save here. We have to wait until he leaves. There's a little water trough. The other guard will make a little loop once we open the door to this tower for some reason. You can't get into this tower, I think. Don't think you're supposed to. This guard has a purse. Whoa.
Something made a noise.
Didn't know he was still there. The sounds are cut off a little bit. This guy does have a purse. To get that, we have to drop down quietly here. Take the purse. and then drop or mantle up like this. So 23, 25. There. Okay, here's a well. You can climb down there. You don't need to, but... And I'll show you the... the other area later. Okay, so over here we have another tower with a guard. That guard is very difficult to sneak by. But there are some other patrollers that I want to trigger here now. This is the tower, and this door is locked. I want to trigger the patrollers because we need the key. There they are. There are two keys that these patrollers have. We need both of them. One of them has a second copy, which we also need, again, because it disappears and we can relock that door. But one of them, there's only one copy of. Key N102B and 102A. Maybe there's only two patrollers. I thought there were three. We're going to go into this shed here. There is a secret here. Secret entrance to the sewers. That is the 8th secret. And we're going to go down the sewers this way, but we have to close this up. Problem is that if we do that... Okay, if those patrollers had been closer, they would have heard that. It won't close because it bangs against the shovel. So I'm going to end up pushing the shovel all the way over here. I think you need it this far for it to be able to close, yeah. There. Good. Now we come to a part of the sewers that you can't find any other way. Here's a moss arrow. Great sounds. Love that. Oh, so I'm almost done playing Thief Deadly Shadows for myself. And I gotta say, the sound design, the audio in that game is astonishing. That's like 10 out of 10. It is just incredible. I just finished the Shellbridge Cradle, by the way. And of course, the sound design in that mission is just stellar, top notch. So, Thief 3 is coming on the channel by the end of this year, sometime in the fall. So we'll see. I have like one main story mission left, so. Okay, this switch here opens this door, and it opens the panel down there. Okay. When we need to close this, it will close both. Let's jump in here, and we can open this again. This only operates this panel, not that door. So the only way you can open that door is to come down from the secret. All right. Let me see. So now we're in the sewers. Let me show you what's going on here. Get our bearings on. I think this is the first place I'm going to show you. Yeah. So this takes us up to the tower. The north tower. There's the patrolling archer, and you can hear the other patrollers on the path. This is locked. This is unlocked. We go up here.
Come out in the open at once.
Here you can take the key. Oh, I didn't mean to do this. It's annoying. Didn't mean to make them hear you, because then you can't take the key. I need that key to show you some loot that we're gonna have to skip, but there's a readable too.
Is someone there?
These alerts don't matter. I made a real save, so. Exactly the same mistake.
Will you quit making noise?
So that alert he will give no matter what. This guy has an acid arrow. And the tower key, and that unlocks either this door or that door. That's the one we saw earlier. Takes you back to the village. Down here there are 2 stacks of gold coins. Worth 25 each. So those are the last 2 pieces of loot we have to skip for Supreme, because even though you're able to take this key up there without the first alert, which you can do if you jump over from the path, you can't return the key. And it is returnable. See, tower key, even though I unlock these 2, it does not disappear, so you have to drop it back. So you can't do that without a hunt mode. So you don't have to return it for Ghost, but for Supreme you do, and it's not going to be possible, so we have to skip that. So that's 150 skip for that mode. And that's the last piece of loot we have to skip. Here's a scroll. Mr. Mario Lombardi, Eureka! After having spent many years researching, I have come across some very interesting information. In library room number 1543, I found a book that contained the true nature of the 4 magic elements. I already knew from another book the exact location of some magical locks. There's a strange poem that goes like this. A water that looks the lake that locks the key. An air wind that looks the burricks that locks the key. An earth that looks the cave that locks the key. And a fire that looks the mine that locks the key. This is only a little part from the poem, but it's what you need to know. Sincerely yours, Mr. Lovercrate. So that, of course, is a hint to where the locks are found, not where the keys are found. So we have not seen the earth lock or the airlock, but apparently it's in a cave and in amongst some barracks. So important readable. Let's go back to this. Yes. Now, let me show you these 2. So here, we go back to the well, close to the south tower. That door can't be opened. And this direction takes you to the sewer grate that I showed you that we have 2 keys for. So that's right there. So we are not going to go any of those directions. We're going to go in here. And close that. We are... Yeah, we're not going to come back here at all. Nope. Not going to go through this area at all. Cistern N102. Important, leave always the level door closed for really Captain Admin. So here is where we're going to use the NO2B and NO2A. I think the A one is the one we're going to use now. Difficult to see here. There's a door at the end. No, it's the B one. And this door is pickable, but you don't have time to pick it. Oh, it was the A one. You don't have time to pick it until you take damage. See, I almost took damage now even. If you come from this side, you can pick it, but there's no way to get to this side for Supreme without having the key. So that's a moot point. So taking that key as necessary. It leaves the door unlocked, and you can't return the key and all that, but hey, it is what it is. This is where we need the B key. This also disappears, but this one we can relock. There is a second key that will not disappear, and we can return that key. Okay, so here we have actually the hatch that I showed you earlier. So I'm gonna leave that open just so that I know that this is the door we have to lock later. Pump room 5, okay. So this door we can unlock with the pump room 5 key. This door is notorious for disappearing, so I want to block it. That key disappeared, so we can't return that. That unlocked this hatch, and that's very important because it means we can get back that way when we're done with everything. Yeah, we can't lock this one because we don't have the key. Right? Yes, okay. This door we have to pick open. No way around that. And now we get back to all the way to the inn, to the third Alp Inn. So we've now bypassed the gate that I will show you. This is the gate. If you approach that gate from the south side, the guard outside will run over and close it. I guess maybe you can block it, but you still have to close it, and he will give a first alert when you do that. You can take his key.
Saw something there. Guess it was nothing.
See now.
I hate creepy noises.
So now he even busted that optional objective, and that takes us up to the tower here. So it's not possible to go through there for Supreme, no way. This is a hatch we're going to open soon. This is the back door. It's pickable. We don't need to pick it. There's other ways in. Here's some food and a moss arrow. So strictly speaking, we don't need to go into the inn right now. Going through the main door, we get a first alert. Don't need to do that. We can jump up here. Then we can head down this way. This is room 1. Here's a woman. You get in through the back door, which is through there. She tends to alert or react quite badly. This is the guy that alerted to the front doors. Let's take a scroll. Dear friends, yesterday morning I visited the shop near the falls where a plaque says that some items are only available in limited numbers. Well, don't believe it, because it's a lie. That shopkeeper is nothing but a thief. Okay, some things are a good deal, but most of his stuff is just a rip-off. So let me give you some advice. Stay away from that con artist. If you really need a weapon, come to my shop at the top of the hill. I'm sure I can give to you a much better deal. Marcius McDowell. Okay, sounds like a good deal. I'm not gonna take that. Now we're gonna get our key to our room.
Welcome. That's the key of the room.
4th room key. So that we're going to use later. In here, we have a ring, and this is the room 1 key. If you take that, you can go into room 1 and take a breath potion from a guard. on his belt, but he alerts to the door closing, so you're not going to be able to do that for Supreme. This is a slow fall potion we do not need. Stack of gold coins, 2450. Here we have key N102B, the other copy, bottle of wine, and a gold plate. And we are going to be able to return that key. Might seem strange, but we can. Yep. Our room is down this way, but we don't need to go there now. Okay. 2550. That's correct. All right, so now we're going to get into some interesting territory here. So if we open this... Let's see. Yeah. Go down here. If you come from the other side for some reason, you can pick this open and unlock the hatch from below. Here we come to gas that's dangerous. I don't think you can run past this without taking damage. Never been able to. And I tried it a lot of times. So we're instead just going to flip the valve. Turn off the gas. You cannot turn that back on. This is death, basically. And up here we can climb. Should be able to, yep. Oh. Don't know why we couldn't. Why can't we jump here? I don't know what that's about. Get the key again. Then we get to a strange area here. So this is what I assume is the wall. So this is actually, it looks like a ladder, but it's a rope. We're gonna jump over here and then mantle up this place. Okay, there is a monster at the bottom there. I just wanted to make sure he didn't hear the clang. I don't think he did. I've never had him alert, at least to anything I'm doing up here. No, he didn't. Okay. So we're first going to mantle up here. And then rope here. Oh, there's this trajectory on this stuff. Okay, well now I didn't make any noise, so that's good. Here is a... is this a flash mine? And... drop all the way down here, and then get the air key, which is basically the highest point in the mission here. Okay, then we are going to drop further down. There are some places where we can trigger... Oh! Maybe we actually can do that by running onto the... Okay, this is the tricky part I talked about. Oh! Let's see if we can jump.
That was helpful.
No. And he hears those boulders dropping too. That's why I don't want to do this. This is tedious, and this is annoying to me too. There we go. Good. Awesome. Okay. Then we can do it. We just need to catch hold of that rope, essentially. He hears that as well. So he is an enemy, right? Just want to make sure that you guys know that. Because he acts a little bit differently when you get rid of him. Here is a mushroom. A beautiful mushroom. If you eat that, you get super speed. We're not going to need to do that. So this is what Galvano has turned into, a fire monster. So you die on impact here, and I don't know if he shoots something at you. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know if it's blind even. But anyway, fire is destroyed by ice. So we are going to simply throw an ice bomb at him. And I'm not sure if this is a scripted event or what it is. There is no damage or kills that show up in the stats. So it feels more like a puzzle element, but something obviously has died due to the scream and everything. And we can get access to the fire key. So I will count this as a bust. But since an objective is to find the fire elemental key, that's the only way to do that. But I'll count it as a bust. I think it is a bust. It's forced by design, so it doesn't matter. This is a healing fruit. This is the lava caves that was talked about in one of the readables. And this will take you to... You can get past that corner without taking damage. This is quicksand. You can get through here without taking damage too, but it's very slow. But on the other side, there is a cavern with a bridge where some bats will see you and you'll destroy the bridge in the process. So we can't go through that way. So that's why we went this way. So now we got both the air key and the fire key. We have taken and used the water key, and we will find the earth key. We just need to find our butts back. To where we need to be here. Oh, come on. Fine. So now we need to jump back up on the rope and get back to the inn area. Can we... We can. Go straight up here. Cool. I like this place. Back here, we can simply climb down on the plant. We can go this way. Close that. So I lied. We do have to go back through the cistern and use that secret. So... let's see. Are we? Let me see right now. Yes, we are. Because we are going to... So we're going to lock this door now. So the key doesn't disappear, but this is now locked. We have to return that key, and we will do that as we end the mission. It's very, very dark here, I know. You go down and up twice. Yeah, so we do have to do this. So, we are not going to need to go through the other way. That's what I meant earlier. So we can safely close this one, actually. Yep. And now, we are going to go back to the sewer area. Or the sewer gate. So what we're going to do now is a little bit tricky. Or not tricky, but it's a trick. That. Unlock this, which made that key disappear. Take the second key after we dropped it. Back up here, and then you lock it, and that key disappears. So now it's locked. We don't have to return any of the keys. Wait, what? Why is this card over here? Should be on the other side. That's odd. Why did that happen? Okay. Yeah, it should be on that side for sure. Huh. Okay, let me see. 26, 25. Yeah, so now we are at a junction point in the mission. Make a real save here. So now we're going to destroy these boulders. Now, as I said, you're supposed to use the invisibility. No, the explosive charge. But that makes a lot of noise, and it's an unnecessary item to use, and you also have to use something to light it on fire. Instead, we can just use a flare here. You can light a flare and then drop the flare. Like that. There. So then the flare disappears, but that's fine. Again, this is not property damage. Boulders is not property. Essentially a cave-in. That was the 9th secret. And now we enter an area that will give us access to the cave below. And we can also pick up some nuggets here. 3 gold nuggets. And 2 silver nuggets. Total of 2,900. And then we are going to shoot a rope. Let's see. Here. So that I can reach it from above. So I need to pick it up later. And now we'll see. This is a difficult area to gauge. I've had a lot of inconsistent situations here. We've seen this area before. So this is the spider over here. The red spider is the problem. The green spider is predictable in his route. He's very touchy. There are broadhead arrows down here. So the first alert you hear is not from us being seen. It's from them alerting to this guy being alert. So that might have been an alert, actually. Oh, whoa. No? Okay. See, on a reload, they alert. It's just so odd. Now they saw me, okay. But they didn't see me earlier. It's so strange. On a reload, they sometimes re-alert. And then the red guy adjusts his position. See that? It's very odd, but it is what it is. So they see me there. I need to be able to get down and jump over to that ledge without getting spotted. I've been able to do that without even a first alert before. But, I mean, I would say all of these are in constant first alert states. Okay, wow. It's that red spider that is just so twitchy. You know what? I'm gonna go back and try this over again, actually. I think that... There. Don't think they hear this up here. But I think that doing this... sort of on the first go is important. Because when I come down here now, they're not alerted that much, the two spiders over there. See, now none of them see me. The first alerts you heard there was just from them being in a first alert state and this green spider Sort of alerting them. I think we're safe here. Not 100% sure, but we don't need these arrows. So there it saw me. See that? When we reload, something happens. So it has the earth key. It's carrying the earth key. There, let's see. So here, we want to be here. Hopefully this green guy won't alert. Oh. There. Get down here, we're good. So they have not made any additional sounds to me. It sounds like that, but they always make those sounds. If they see me, they will come running. Maybe with the exception of that little spider. And down here, there's no noise from them, so we're going to take this silver nugget here. Now here comes the problem. We need to get to, since we have the earth key now, the lock is on the wall there. We need to get over on the right side and climb up the little crevice there without this red spider seeing us, and that is going to be tricky. Because the red spider has its side to us now. You see there? It sees us immediately. And every time we reload, it sort of shifts position. And basically, we just have to try this and wait until it works, until it settles down. Because even though it shifts position, it doesn't actually re-alert, I think. I don't know how it works, but there's something messed up with these spiders. Okay, so now it saw us, but it didn't really... Oh. Okay, see now? Strange. Yeah, this is a tedious part, but it means that we can avoid invisibility potion use, which would be the only other option here. Well, let's just keep trying. Seems like it's shifted a little bit further away now. So maybe the angle has shifted further west, if you will. Okay, it takes a little bit longer to see us right now. See, why does that go into a hunt maneuver? That obviously I haven't been spotted here. There we go. Yep. Oh, I think it just settled down enough for us to be able to get around here. And then we can use the earth key, which opens that door. So see, they get first alerted just by that green spider walking past them. So that checked off the earth elemental objective. Now we will hopefully be able to get back that way. Yep. Usually that's the case. We can go one way, we can easily go the other way too. Awesome. So I can't gauge if there's any first alerts or whatever in this room. I don't think that they do give first alerts to me, because like I said, they are in a constant third or hunt mode state. So that might have been to me, I'm not sure. So now it alerted without me being even near it. Okay. Good, so this door can't be closed. We're now going to head into this room. There is a gem here. This door will open when we take the gem, but also a elemental will spawn. And it has fire elemental alert levels, and it is unalerted right now. You can hear that very high blowing, hissing sound almost when it's alerted. So if we do that, we can take this 3025. This door we also cannot close, and now we come out to the cave where the frogs were. They're now down in the cave with the rope arrow. So we're not going to worry about them right now. Okay. So, although we do have the fire key, we're not going to go to where the fire lock was right now, because we need to pick up a couple of things back in town first. First thing we can do now is actually return the invisibility potion down to the bottom of this lake. Here. And then we have to tackle this door. We're going to pick this lock open. There is a water elemental behind it. And it will not give any first alerts. It will only alert when it attacks us or moves differently from what it normally does. See, now it's bobbing up and down. That's a normal, any kind of elemental position. Now, we need to get that key there, because that unlocks the key, actually unlocks the 2 doors in that area. And we can't lean forward and take that because it'll attack us.
Oh.
See, it shoots water bubbles at us.
Oh.
So we need to use the door here. And take a key with a faded sign. So now this is unalerted. See that? Still bobbing up and down. So we leaned in through the door. Great. Now, when we've unlocked it, sometimes when I come back to this area, the doors open. I think that is just because the elemental is too close to the door and they will automatically open doors, whether they need to go through them or not. So now we're going to use this key to open this door. And here is the sea chest that was talked about in the readable about the oxidized key. So we need to use the oxidized key here, which disappears, so we don't have to return it. Here is an axe, which we're going to need. Here is a white gem, 3125. And here's a papyrus. We're not going to read that now because it triggers something that we need to trigger later. And this sea chest can't be closed up. This door can be relocked, but we have to use the key with the faded sign. This door here is also unlocked with this, and this takes us to the room that we were just in. And we're supposed to return this key, but we can't, because we can return it to the ground, which I guess some of you maybe would say is close enough, but it's supposed to be on the ledge here. And then this guard, or this elemental sees us or hears that. I've been able to get it so that it doesn't attack me, but instead it just stops bobbing up and down and sometimes opens the door. So I've not been able to return that key without it giving a clear indication it's heard it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold on to the key instead. Now we need to go to the cemetery. And here we have the guards. Okay.
Hello?
So we may just need to wait here until they walk away. Because either we'll run out of air, or we will surface and be seen. I might have to trigger them and then come back. Oh no, we are dark here. Oh, there's the other guard.
You see, my dear, the servants can truly make you happy. I tell you, could there be a more noble purpose in life? I was on my way to follow the Lord's letter.
Yeah, one of them has been detached from the pack.
You don't understand. I dropped the letters on the floor and they were...
It's a nice sun.
I looked everywhere.
I'm helping. You mean you lost a whole stack of books?
No, the M stack. It's a section of bookcases. They're just called...
You mean you lost a whole stack of books?
No, the M stack. It's a section of bookcases. They're just called stacks.
I don't believe in you.
Sometimes these guards get stuck on their patrol. Not stuck, but they end up pivoting just around and around. Okay, now we come to the cemetery. First of all, 2 artifacts back here, 3175. And here is a grave. We're now going to read the papyrus. Because that will open the grave. Sorry, I should have... Numkral ropen umkert, los mortos esto agora livres. The dead shall live again, maybe? We want to block that door open. You'll see why. So that opens this grave. Here's a tiara. And then this chest here, we're going to use the little shiny key on. And that gives us the Scepter of Crawl, and that we're going to use. There are also a few water arrows here. 3 of them. And there are 2 readables. Summon Death Scroll. Fringlui Miglaf Yog Shogothqua Nuggle Thuggen. Death to life, life to death. That spawns 4 zombies. 2 of them have keys. And that's the key that is needed to escape this door here. So we are not obviously going to stay here and have fun with them. This papyrus says, Dear son, I send you with the last shipment this ancient and incredible relic. It's a scepter with immense and unknown power that I found it in a cave in the Crawls area. It launches a strange green flow. I do not understand for what purpose it was created, but I'm sure that it's for something great. Put it someplace safe until I return. I hope you will get it soon. I'm a little scared as some more strange things have happened here. I'm leaving this place tomorrow, so await me at the shore at 8 o'clock. Your. Alright, we don't need that either. No way to close this up or anything, and we don't, don't need to. We're going to leave this open, because it was open before we got here. Now we need to go back and retrieve a rope arrow and close the secret panel. We can do that from this direction. So we need to mantle over again the way we did before. So this fan mission is from an era that I really appreciate. It's sort of from the 2004, 2005, and until the end of the Old Dark era. So, out 2012, basically. That was when you saw sort of the peak creations of that Old Dark era. Before 2004, you had a lot of the very simple missions, still some great ones, but they just had a little bit of a different and more simplistic feel to them. But this is from that golden Old Dark era, I would say. I would say that there are 3 eras in maybe 4, but at least 3. The initial Old Dark era, the sort of more mature Old Dark era, and then the New Dark. You might even split New Dark into 2. I would say that the 2018 anniversary contest sort of brought a lot of new players into, or not a lot of new DROM editors even. Into the community. And since then, we've just gotten such an incredible an incredible spike in fan missions. I thought it would be, before that anniversary contest, I thought that the number of fan missions would dwindle, even with New Dark, but it's almost gone up. Now, the last couple of years, there maybe hasn't been that many new missions, but the missions that are released are all fantastic. We talked about this in the chat recently, that when I did Heartcliff Islands, that was the last unreported mission. The last mission that had never had a ghost report written on it. And I don't know when that was. It was a few years back. Maybe more than a few years. 4 or 5 years, probably. But since then, there's now a huge list again of new missions that have never had ghost reports written. So if you guys are looking to... Hopefully you are looking to ghost your own missions, then try to look at the unreported lists. Those missions that have not been reported, and they are all new. They're all from the last 2-3 years. Look at those missions and you pick one of those, then it's one that hasn't been reported before. Of course, you can try one of the older ones if you want to, but... With the state of ghosting today, I think that any report, old or new mission, would be appreciated. Okay. So now we have the rope arrow and that secret closed.
Who's there?
So now we need to be able to get through here without getting spotted.
I don't like being pushed around. Nobody pushes Benny around.
Nobody better. Who's there? You see that? See something there?
Okay, maybe we can't do that then.
See something there?
Can we maybe go this way and mantle over?
See something there?
Yeah, no, we can't do this.
Nobody. Hey, you see that too? You see that too?
Let's see.
Hey, did you notice anything?
Can we jump there? In any way?
Who's Nobody.
Maybe we can.
What was that, you think? You see that too?
Yeah, I'm gonna try this a couple of times.
Hey, you see that too?
Hopefully we can do this.
You see that? You see that too?
We can't do that. Come on now.
Who's what's that? You see that too?
Maybe we can't. Okay. Might have to just accept the first alert here then.
Someday I'm not going to be a guard anymore. gonna be a manor lord.
Sometimes he gets positioned a little bit more behind the pillar.
I'm go on patrols and night watch. And I'm gonna sneak up on them and say, didn't you hear? Hey, you see that?
Oh, there we did it. We did it. Good. You leaned, did the lean trick. Oh.
Nobody pushes Benny around. Who's over there? Hey.
We drop down here without getting seen.
You see that too?
Maybe we can if we are slow enough.
Jordan. Who's over?
Oh, come on. We can do this.
Notice there's never any birds or...
Can we jump to that button? Okay. We got there. Gotta love the dark engine, right? Then we can head all the way back to the woods. What's annoying is that these haven't gotten any further because their patrol shut off. And down here, sometimes one of these get a little stuck.
Can't the guy nap around here?
That guy there. He finds his way eventually, I think, but might just need to give it a reload. There we go. Let's check our inventory. We're going to use one more flare. We can't get rid of that. This was an objective. Loot is good. This key we're going to use. This key we're going to use. This key we can't return. That we were given. That we're going to use. This we're going to use. And this we're going to use and return. This we can't return. But we're going to use it, so we're good. We're golden, in fact. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't think this mission would look that good without fog, but it really does.
I tell you, the place is haunted. One minute I was on my way to Father Lord's letters, then I heard this terrible sound. And when I turned around, the M stacks were gone.
I'll say you got turned around all right.
Does thou know where the shadows arrived? They were gone too. I was everywhere. Some help you all.
Please keep recommending missions, too, for me to play. There are so many missions out there. So many good ones. Maybe especially newer missions, because I don't read a lot about missions before I play them. So most of the missions I've heard of are probably older. Because I've had them recommended, but newer ones haven't had time to get recommended yet. Let's see. Okay. Now. We're gonna head into the woods, which is sort of the last area to tackle. See, now this door's open. But the elemental is unalerted still. It's just what happens. Oh, come on. Okay. So now we are going to head into the right here. To the barrack farm that was talked about. So here are 2 normal barracks and then 2 small green barracks. These do not give first alerts, but they are very sensitive to sound. So we're gonna go around here first, very carefully. And here. Here's a beautiful mushroom. This is a poisonous mushroom, so don't eat that. Let's see. The red ones I showed you gave you speed. This one... Does it do anything? Okay, so anyway. This is the... Huh. Oh, okay. So these bats are detecting you. If you walk on this bridge, it will break. Fall apart. You can't get across there without doing that. So that's a property damage. I'm going to show you what happens if you use a slow fall potion and drop down here. Then you come down to the bottom and there's another readable. We read this earlier. To put on shoes and go outside. I will do that, Sterlino, I promise. Then there's a second page. P.S. If this is the second time you've read this scroll, you have a serious case of thief addiction, just like me, I suppose. I do indeed. If you go across that bridge, you come to the quicksand that I showed you earlier. So that's just a way to loop around completely. Let's see here. We're gonna drop down here to this cave. So here we have a little pool. Now there's a symbol there, and that symbol is the same as the symbol on the Scepter of Crawl, so that's a hint. Put that in there and it gets energized or charged or something like that. And that's what we need. Here's a pitcher plant. There is another mushroom that I wanted to show. It is this one. No. That's poisonous too. Maybe this is it. Yeah. This one gives you health. I think a double healing potion or something like that. And here we have a small dryad. And this guy will shoot at you. He is an enemy. If you hit him, he duplicates. And every time you hit them, 2 more comes out. It's like Hydra, isn't it? Take off 1 head and 2 will will take his place. So, kind of cool. So we're not going to worry about that, though. We're going to head back here now, and we're going to come to a quite difficult situation. Here we have a door. And we need to unlock that door with the yellow key. We need to time the pulsating lights. Quite perfectly, we need to time that. Okay, we can totally do that. Oh, that wasn't far away. We can totally do this. Oh, this is tedious stuff. Oh my goodness. Getting my keys. It's just annoying that you can't go directly to the key. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, maybe that's easier. I cannot go fast there. There. Okay. Goodness me. Now, we have to do something that's even more difficult. We have to actually get into this shed without getting a first load even from these barracks. And that is very difficult. Let's see. Going a little bit too early here. Can probably crouch a little bit earlier. There we go. Finally. I leaned towards the end. That was not a first alert, by the way. What that guy did. Ooh, that took a long time. Okay, we can actually close the door here. Or lock the door. Did you notice that I got killed a couple of times outside? In this area, I have had that happen. I'm not sure why that happens. But there's another area too where I have had that happen a couple of times. Anyway, in here is a bracelet. And, yeah. And this is another invisibility potion, probably just so that you were able to leave. And here is a floor panel. There's a readable that read about this, wasn't there? Someone had a burrick farm or something. I think so. So this, we are supposed to use the axe to crack open because it reveals the airlock. However, the green barracks on the outside will hear that every single time. I tried to push one of the barracks way far away, but it's still alerted. So they hear that breaking all the time. That's why we have the second flare. Because we can use that now to get rid of this board. There. There we go. So it doesn't make any noise, and it reveals the airlock. That is still property damage, though. And that isn't directed in any objective to do, so that is a bust. So I would say that's the second bust in this mission besides killing Galvano. One time, but one time only, I was able to keep throwing this flare at the board, and suddenly the board didn't disappear or destroy, but the lock became probable. So if there's a consistent way of doing that, then you can avoid this bust. Because then you wouldn't actually damage the property. You would just use an engine exploit, I guess, to exploit some kind of bug. But I've only been able to do that once. So if you can't repeat it, it shouldn't be a valid way of doing so. We are now going to use the air key here. And that should teleport us to a different glade in a few moments. There we go.
What the?
Very cool. So that was the air elemental. The only thing we have to do here, besides looking at the floating statues, is get to the gem up top, and we can stand in this mist. Now, when we get to the top, when we take it, we're going to be teleported back to the forest. And we might take damage. We might even alert that nymph that we saw earlier. So we're going to move forward as we take the gem, because I think that will help us avoid such a bust. There we go. Excellent. 3375. That's what we should have here. Now the music changed too, which is always ominous. Here. When we come back here now, there is a big dryad that has spawned. It's not a problem for us because we can just walk up here. This is a cool enemy. Very cool. Shoots roots or something like that. Very lethal. Very cool as well. So let's see, what are we doing now? We are going back to return this key. There. This door is opened again. It's always happens. There we go. Let me just see. Yeah. And now we can head back up into the Guardian section and use the fire key, which is the last thing we need to do. And now, 2 of the enemies here have disappeared. The guy that patrolled with the key has disappeared, and the guy that patrolled inside the fire lock area has disappeared. And when I get back into the shrine with the fire lock, that's when I have a problem sometimes getting killed. Just randomly. So now there was a new enemy that spawned here, and we got new objectives too. We checked off the dangerous fire elemental, but this portal of hell is a serious menace for everyone, destroyed at any cost. So you have to use the Scepter of Crawl to do so. Take a look at this enemy first.
Come, sacred death, and claim one of us. Bring the battle to our foe.
Oh, wow. I like the voice that she has. So now we can shoot her, or actually shoot the portal with the Scepter of Crawl. So that is not a bust, even though she dies, because it was directed in the objective to destroy it, and that's what we did. And we were not seen or heard by her, so a death there isn't against the rules if it happens at the same time. We can take the gem here, 3475. So that is not all, though, but it completed the objective. If we go in here now, there is a secret back here.
Now I know I'm a master thief.
So you have to use the axe to destroy the banner properly. If you use a flare, the safe here won't become flammable, and you won't actually get the secret count. Now, at the same time as destroying the banner, we completed the objective of finding all the secrets, the 10th. So that's why that isn't a bust to Supreme, because you have to complete this for Supreme. It's unavoidable. For Ghost, it is avoidable. So that's why that would be a bust for Supreme. No, for regular Ghost and not for Supreme. Here, we can use the key that we found beside the sleeping guy in the bed. Open the safe. Take the last pieces of loot. 5 gold coin stacks and some kind of a crucifix. 3650, that's max for Supreme. 150 below the absolute max for the mission. That should be it. Now we can go out here. Because we have opened the door from the inside. And we can close up. See, this almost disappears instantly. And then all we have left to do is return the key that we got at the inn. I think that should be it. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, but the mission isn't ghostable anyway. But let me know what you think about those busts that we took. Here. There. She does not alert to that. And then we can finish the mission. Block the door. And here we have a readable. Detailed information about your next mission. Signed, the Brotherhood of Fire. Okay. That should be it. Oi, oi, oi. A long mission. So that was a failed ghost run of Horns of Canzo Mission 1, A Long Way Up. We took quite a few busts. First of all, we got a first alert from the guard inside guard post 1. We opened the outside door, and he gave a first alert there. I'm not sure if the outside guard also gives a first alert. He's involved in a conversation, so I guess that's excused. Then the next one wasn't until we had to kill the Galvano beast with an ice bomb. Even though it doesn't show up in the stats, it does count to me as a kill because it's an enemy and it's not directed in the objective, so that's a ghost bust. For Supreme, I couldn't return the key with the faded sign because the water elemental will change its movement and that indicates an alert. Then our second ghost bust was we had to use a flare to destroy the floorboards by the airlock. Property damage is not allowed. So those are the busts that I could detect. Stats: 1 hour, 46 minutes, 12 seconds. 3650 loot out of, so obviously not 2100. Should be out of 20 or 3800. We skipped 100 in a purse in the ladies' restroom at the Saloon for Supreme. She alerted to the door opening. We also skipped 2 gold coin stacks in the North Tower in the village because you can't return the tower key and thus have to skip those items. Now for Ghost, you have to skip 175. You can take all the ones I just mentioned, but you have to skip the 175 in the safe because slashing the banner is not required for that mode. So then you can only get 3625 for Ghost. We picked 8 out of 30 pockets, picked 3 locks, no backstabs, no knockouts, no damage dealt, taken or healing taken, nothing, nobody killed, no iron beast destroyed or disabled, and I always get bodies discovered by enemies 1. I'm not sure what that is. But I don't think anyone saw any of the 2 kills that I did. But that doesn't show up either. And we found 10 out of 11 secrets. Only 10 is available on hard and expert. Excellent. Okay. Thank you to Squadafroin for suggesting this mission, or for choosing it, rather, as a winner of the trivia contest. I will see you guys back for the Affairs of Wizards, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I think it's a great mission. Although the 2 pathways are a little bit linear, the whole map loops around, and it's not... It doesn't feel linear, even though maybe literally in some places it is. I really like the lore, the story, the mystery that surrounds it. It sets up for the sequel very nicely, which I have gotten recommended by several players since I announced I was going to play this. So, yeah. I will see you guys back next time. Thank you for your support. Have a good evening, guys. Bye-bye.